Discussing speeding and those construction zones. Joining me is Sergeant Jenna Clausen Hubright. She is with the North Dakota Highway Patrol. Good morning, Sergeant. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
We were talking during the commercial break. I said Heidi talks about she knew early she was going to be a meteorologist. I used to play with a tape recorder when I was a little kid as a broadcaster, so I kind of had an inkling there too. Did you know you wanted to be in law enforcement growing up?
Not growing up, but once I reached college, I decided that's something I wanted to do. For one, be a woman in law enforcement, and two, work on some relationship stuff with law enforcement and community members.
You have a little bit of familial history, though, in law enforcement, too, right?
Yes, definitely do. My brother's a trooper. My brother-in-law is a U.S. Marshal. We've got a lot of law enforcement in my family.
Okay, let's talk about speeding. There's so many construction zones. You really can't get out of them, and we're talking mostly out of town on the highways. Talk to me about the dangers that anytime, some of the dangers that are presented anytime a person's going through a construction zone.
Sure. So we live in North Dakota. There's winter and there's construction season.
Exactly right.
And so those construction workers have to work fast. So you might drive through a construction zone one day, the very next day it's different.
Yeah, exactly.
So you need to pay attention to pattern differences, and then people just driving too fast in construction zones and not leaving themselves enough reaction time for who might be in front of them or what that pattern in a construction zone might look like.
Are those zones pretty heavily patrolled?
Yes, so we have overtime programs for troopers and for deputies provided through DOT. So we have extra patrols around construction zones trying to keep people safe and those workers who are on the side of the road safe as well.
You know, it's one of those things where somebody, you're driving along, you maybe have your cruise control set, and then you get into these zones and they're marked well in advance.
Yes.
But it's easy to not take them seriously until all of a sudden the vehicles in front of you are going 45, you're still going 75.
Right.
That can be a real danger. You need to pay attention, like you say.
Definitely. There's so many distractions in our vehicles as well. If you send one text message, your vehicle travels the distance of a football field when you're not even looking at the road.
Wow.
And then all of that can change in front of you so quickly.
What about different hazards? Not just speed, but I mean, there are different hazards that are there that maybe we don't even think about within a construction zone.
Sure. So when they're working, say, on the pavement, there can be those breaks, and sometimes it's going to be gravel that you're driving into, and you really need to slow down to what that suggested speed limit is, or sometimes even lower when there's a lot of traffic in there, because you don't know what's ahead of you if there's a big bump or that difference in road material.
Sure, and there are different levels too. You may be directed into a different lane, and all of a sudden you're dropping down or going up a level.
Right.
As a patrol officer, do you find that accidents that do take place in a construction zone, are they more severe maybe than just a different accident, or is that hard to pinpoint?
It's hard to pinpoint, but we have seen some severe ones this summer. And typically it's that no reaction time and people slam into that concrete jersey barrier and they have a rollover crash right in the middle of a construction zone. It really doesn't take an incredible amount of speed for your vehicle to turn over like that. And then you have construction workers who are not inside a vehicle, it's just their body on the side of the road, so we have to think about them as well.
You know, and that's something we haven't even discussed, but these people are out there, they're trying to do a job. You know, and I've seen where they'll be holding a sign that says slow, and people are zipping through there, and it's almost like they're going, look, because our lives are at stake here.
Yes, yes, definitely. So, yeah, their bodies are on the side of the road. That's someone's dad or mom and son and daughter, and so we want to make sure they get home safe too. They're just trying to do a job and make the road ultimately safer for you to drive on the very next year. So.
We're running out of time here, but if there's something, and it's so easy because they're so common, it's so easy to take that for granted, whether it's a speed limit that is posted and suggested going through there. But as you leave people here with one message, what would you tell them?
I would tell them just take that personal responsibility. It takes you a couple extra seconds to slow down. You're going to get through that speed zone safely. If you just take a couple of extra precautions, you're going to make sure you make it home safely as well.
Sounds great. Sergeant, thank you so much. If nothing else, you know, people know this, but this is just a good reminder, and especially that these people are fathers, mothers, sons and daughters, and they've got families at home too. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.